The wind was soft and warm as Ravi stood under the tree in his garden. The branches moved gently, and tiny white flowers had begun to bloom. He looked up at the sky, bright with stars.
Ow!
One of those small lights held the person he missed most. Lena was still on Mars. It had been many months now. Messages had become fewer. Not because she didn't care, but because things had changed. The Mars base was going through a hard time. The crew had limited power. Communication was only allowed. For short moments, and sometimes even that failed, Ravi tried not to feel sad. He reminded himself every day that she was strong, that she was doing something important, but the silence was hard. It was like talking into the wind and hoping it would carry your voice. One morning, Ravi got a message from Lena's team. It wasn't from her. It was a short update. All crew. Members are safe. Communication will pause for some time. Thank you for your support. That was all it said. Ravi closed the screen and sat quietly. He felt the same heaviness return. Quiet kind. The one that didn't come with tears, but just stayed in the chest like a cold stone. He walked outside and sat on the old bench in the park. The same one where he and Lena once made plans about the future. He looked at the sky and whispered, "Are you thinking of me too?" He didn't know the answer. Still, he kept writing in his notebook. He kept filming small videos. But this time, they were not for Lena alone. They were for anyone who felt far from someone they loved. People still sent messages to his channel. They thanked him for reminding them that distance didn't mean the end. One night, Ravi lit a small lantern and placed it near the tree. He spoke to the camera. Sometimes we love people who are far away. Sometimes we can't see them or hear them. But that doesn't mean the love is gone. That love lives in every step we take, every letter we write, every light we keep burning. He looked down for a second, then added, "If you miss someone tonight, you're not alone. I'm with you, and so is hope." The video went viral. People from around the world began lighting lanterns for the people they missed. They sent photos, messages, and poems. Ravi created a new section called Lights Across the Earth. It became a movement, a way for people to feel close even when they were far apart. Then something unexpected happened. One day, a package arrived at Ravi's door. It was small and wrapped carefully. The label said it came from a space agency. Inside was a photo of Lena, in her Mars suit, standing near a metal pole in red dust. At the top of the pole was a paper flag. On the flag were his words, written in her handwriting. "We are never truly far from those we love. Not in heart, not in hope." Ravi stared at the photo for a long time. His eyes filled with tears. He placed it near the tree. Where the light from the lantern touched it, even though she couldn't speak, she had answered. Even in silence, she had reached back. He knew now more than ever that their connection was not broken. It had changed, yes, but it had grown too. Stronger, deeper, wider, like roots under the earth. He sat by the tree with the notebook in his lap. He opened to a blank page and wrote, "Sometimes we can't hear the ones we love, but we keep talking, because that's what makes us human. We don't stop trying. We don't stop loving. We believe that one day they will hear us again." He closed the notebook and looked up at the stars. No message had come that day, but something inside him was full. Because humans don't only survive, they care. They reach out. They wait with hope. And they keep their hearts open. Ravi knew Lena would come back one day. Until then, he would keep writing. He would keep the lights on. And he would remind the world, even across planets. The human heart still speaks. Asterisk, the air was calm, and the sky was turning gold. A soft wind moved through the leaves of the tall tree in Ravi's garden. He stood beneath it, holding a mug of warm tea. Everything felt still, like the world was waiting for something. It had been 1 year since Lena left Earth. A whole year of silence, hope, and messages passed between stars. A year of writing letters to the sky. A year of holding on. Ravi looked at the tree and smiled. It was much taller now, strong, steady, alive, just like his hope. That morning he had received news. Lena's team was returning. The Mars mission had completed its first full cycle. The ship would take months to reach Earth, but it had already left Mars. She was coming home. Ravi read the message again and again. It was short, official, and had no personal words. Still, his heart raced. He wanted to believe she had sent it. He wanted to believe she had written it with a smile. He sat in the garden and opened his notebook, the one Lena had given him before she left. The pages were almost full now. He flipped through them slowly, reading his old notes. Today the tree bloomed. I don't know if you'll hear this, but I'm still here. So many quiet thoughts, so many days of waiting. But he had never stopped, not even once. Like because something deep inside him kept whispering, she'll come back. Weeks passed. Each day Ravi lit a candle in the window. People in his neighborhood started doing the same. They had followed his journey. It sent letters, videos, and messages. His story had become their story. The light had spread to other cities, other countries. One night he looked out at the hill behind his house and saw tiny glowing lights. Dozens of lanterns. Some had notes tied to them. Others simply floated with soft flames. He felt something rise in his chest. Not sadness, but pride. Humans were full of heart. They loved across time, across distance, across silence. They didn't stop when it was hard. They didn't turn away when they were afraid. They kept reaching. They kept hoping. One evening, a special message arrived. This one had her name Lena. Her face appeared on the screen. Connection was weak, but her voice was clear. Ravi, she said, smiling, I saw the lights from space. We watched through the small window. So many lights on Earth. It looked like the stars had come down to meet us. She paused and her eyes filled with tears. You waited for me? Even when you didn't know if I could hear. You gave hope not just to me, but to many. You reminded us what it means to be human. Ravi didn't say anything at first. He just watched her face, memorizing every part of it. Her eyes, her voice, her smile. Everything he had missed. He leaned close to the screen. I never stopped, he said. Not once. Shh, I know. The screen froze for a moment, then went black. But that was enough. He had seen her. It hurt her. And that moment lived inside him now, like a flame that would never go out. Months later, the return ship landed. The world watched as the crew stepped out, tired but strong. Ravi stood in the crowd, holding a small flag, the same one she had held on Mars. Lena stepped down slowly, her helmet in her hand. Their eyes met. For a moment, no words were spoken. Then she ran to him, opened his arms, and they held each other tightly. The crowd cheered. Cameras clicked. But Ravi didn't hear any of it. He only heard her heartbeat, the one he had waited for, the one he had believed in. They walked together under the sky, the stars watching above them. Words were needed, because everything had already been said in silence, in letters, in lights, in hope. Ravi looked up at the stars and whispered to them one last time, She's home. And with that, his journey, their journey, became a story of love, distance, and something greater, the human spirit, the heart that reaches beyond space and never stops shining. Ravi sat at the train station with a notebook in his hand. The trains came and went. People hugged, said goodbye, or welcomed others back. The station was full of life. But inside, Ravi felt alone. He had received Lena's last message a few days ago. It was short but kind. She had told him she showed his video to her team. She said his words gave them strength. That made Ravi happy, but also sad. He didn't want to be just a voice of comfort from far away. He wanted more. He wanted to hear her laugh again, not just imagine it. He wanted to feel her hand in his, not just hold memories. He missed the small things, the way she said his name, the way she hummed when she worked, the way she looked at the stars and dreamed out loud. Now, those things only lived in his mind. He opened the notebook and began to draw. He wasn't a good artist, but that didn't matter. He drew two small figures sitting under a tree. One had short hair. The other had long hair tied in a bun. They looked simple, like two paper dolls, but he liked it. He wrote under the drawing, "One day again." Later that night, he sat by the old radio. It didn't work well anymore, but he liked the soft crackling sound. It reminded him of their childhood. He closed his eyes and remembered the time they made up stories together, pretending to be explorers of space. She had always wanted to go to real space. He just wanted to be where she was. He laughed quietly to himself. She got her wish, he said aloud, and I'm still here. He opened his laptop and made another video. This time, he sat in the garden, where the tree they planted together had started to grow taller. The sky was orange with sunset. Birds chirped softly. He spoke slowly. Some days I feel like I'm standing still while the world flies ahead. But then I remember something you once told me. You said humans are brave not because we go far, but because we love deeply, because we care even when we're scared. He paused. I miss you. That hasn't changed. But I've stopped waiting in silence. I live now. I try, and I still believe. That's my way of staying close to you. He ended the video with a smile and sent it. Ravi didn't expect anything to happen right away. But the next evening, his screen blinked again. Lena had replied. This time the message was longer. Ravi, I saw the video. It made me cry again, but in a good way. You're right. Caring is what keeps us human. Mars is beautiful, but cold. Not just the weather, the feeling. It's so quiet, but your voice brings warmth here. It's not just for me, for everyone. We now gather every Sunday to watch your videos. They call it Earth Hour. You don't even know how much it helps, she continued. There's still no way to call or talk live. But I wanted you to know you are heard, you are felt. Ravi read her message over and over. She still felt close. She still remembered. He looked at the tree again and whispered, we're not so far after all. He decided to do something new. He started a small project, called it Letters to the Stars. He invited people from all around the world to write or record messages to loved ones far away in space, in other countries, or even those no longer alive. The idea grew fast. People sent poems, songs, pictures, and simple words like I miss you or I still care. Ravi shared some of these messages in his videos. He made each one gentle and full of feeling. His channel grew, not for fame, but for something bigger, for the connection. And far away on Mars, Lena watched them all. In one video, a little boy said, Mom, if you hear this from the moon, I love you. In another, a woman whispered to my sister across the sea, come back soon. The garden waits for you, Lena told Ravi. We play these in our control room, we smile, cry, but mostly we remember why we left Earth, to make it better, to protect it. To be worthy of its love, Ravi sat under the stars again. But this time, the stars didn't feel cold. They felt close. He looked up and smiled. Because even though he couldn't touch her hand, even though he couldn't hear her laugh in the air, he knew something for sure. Human hearts were never truly apart, not when they hoped, not when they loved, not when they believed. The days were getting warmer on Earth. Flowers began to bloom in Ravi's small garden. The tree he and Lena planted now had fresh green leaves. Spring had arrived, but Ravi's heart still held a little winter. He stood near the tree and touched its trunk gently. It had grown taller, just like he had promised her. Quiet breeze moved through the leaves. Ravi closed his eyes and listened. Somewhere far away, on another planet, Lena was watching red sand blow through silent winds. So different from this moment. Yet somehow, they were still connected. Ravi missed her more as time passed. The messages were still coming, but slowly. Weeks passed before he heard from her again. Communication was hard. Mars was far. Sometimes systems failed. Sometimes storms blocked signals. Each day without a message felt longer than the last. One evening, Ravi walked to the riverside, where he and Lena once skipped stones, sat on the grass, and stared at the water. Why does distance feel like a wall we can't climb? He whispered. He picked up a small stone and threw it into the river. It made a soft splash and disappeared. He thought about how simple it used to be. Just walking over, just talking, just being near. Now, space stood between them, real space, wide and cold. But he also knew something stronger stood between them, love. memory, and hope. That night, Ravi opened his laptop again. The screen showed the project he had started, Letters to the Stars. More and more people were sending messages. The channel had become a small light in the darkness for many. One message came from a child who had lost his father. The child said, "I believe he's a star now, so I talked to the stars." Another came from an old woman who missed her best friend who had moved across the ocean. She wrote, "We can't walk together, but I carry you in every step." These words touched Ravi deeply. He realized something. Everyone was carrying someone. Everyone had someone they missed. That night, Ravi made a new video. This one was not just for Lena. It was for all those who had someone far away. He sat on the floor beside the candle. The camera was simple. The light was soft. He said, "To anyone who feels alone, I understand. I know what it feels like. To miss someone so deeply, it hurts. But I also know this: distance cannot break what is real. Love doesn't stop just because time passes. It grows. It becomes stronger." He looked into the camera and added, "We are human. We wait. We hope. We keep loving." He ended the video with a soft smile. Then he stood, opened the window, and let the night air in. The video touched many hearts. Comments came from across the world. People shared their own stories. Some missed family, some missed friends, and some missed people they never got to say goodbye to. The next morning, Ravi woke up to a surprise. A message from Lena had arrived. It was short, but powerful. "Ravi, today I felt heavy and tired. Mars is quiet, and sometimes I feel lost. But then I saw your video. You reminded me of something I forgot, why I came here. You remind me of Earth, of laughter, of love. You are my home, no matter how far I go." Ravi read the message again and again. Each word warmed his chest like sunlight. He picked up the notebook Lena had given him and turned to a new page. He wrote in large letters, "We are never truly far from those we love. Not in heart, not in hope." He looked out the window and smiled. He no longer waited in silence. He lived with purpose, shared his voice. And somehow, his voice reached the stars. That evening, as he sat outside watching the stars, a little boy from the neighborhood came and sat beside him. "Are you the one who talks to space?" the boy asked. Ravi nodded gently. "Yes." The boy looked up and whispered, "Do they hear you?" Ravi smiled. "Yes, they do." Because in every message, every letter, every kind word, there was a piece of the human soul reaching across time, across space, even across planets, and that was something no distance could stop. Ravi opened the window and let the soft morning wind come in. The air smelled fresh after the night's rain. Birds were singing, and the sky was painted with light orange clouds. But even with the beauty around him, his heart still felt heavy. It had been a month since Lena's last message. She had promised to send more videos. She had smiled. She had told him his videos helped her, but after that nothing came. No words, no sign. Just silence again. Ravi checked the screen every night before sleeping. He looked at the blinking cursor, hoping it would turn into her name. It never did. He kept the folder for Lena updated. He still wrote to her, still recorded videos. But deep down, he started to feel afraid. Maybe something had happened. Maybe she was too busy. Or maybe she had forgotten. The fear grew quietly like a shadow. He didn't speak to anyone about it. He didn't want to hear the words people might say, things like, "Move on," or "She has a new life now." He didn't want to believe those things. He didn't want to give up. One afternoon, Ravi sat in the small library near his house. He sat at the back table, reading an old book Lena once loved. His finger moved slowly across the lines, remembering how she used to laugh at the romantic parts. Suddenly, a little girl came near and stared at him. He looked up. "Hi," he said with a gentle smile. "Why are you sad?" she asked softly. Ravi blinked. He didn't know what to say. He looked down, then said, "Someone I care about is very far away. I miss her." "Why don't you go to her?" the girl asked. She's not just in another city, he said. She's on another planet. The little girl thought for a moment. Then she said, then send your heart. It travels faster than rockets. She ran away after that, leaving Ravi frozen in his seat. Send your heart, he smiled. Children had a way of saying big things in simple ways. That night, Ravi took a deep breath and looked at the camera again. But this time, he didn't just record a message. He made something special. Video full of everything Lena loved. He started with a walk through their favorite park. The sun was setting, and golden light touched the trees. He pointed to the bench where she used to sit and read. Then he went to their cafe. He didn't speak much, just showed the empty chair across from him. The waiter brought tea and smiled kindly. After that, Ravi went home and lit a candle. He placed it on the window. He spoke into the camera. I don't know if you can see it. I don't know if you'll even get this. But I believe that even light, once sent, finds its way. He paused and added, you once said that humans shine brightest when they're far from home. I believe that too. Sometimes even stars miss their sky. He pressed save and sent the video. Knowing it might not reach her, but something inside him felt warm. He had done what he could. That night, fell asleep early, holding the paper rocket she once gave him. A week passed, then another. Still no. The message came. But something changed inside Ravi. He didn't stop writing. He didn't stop recording. He began to share his videos online, just small clips. His stories, his walks, his memories. People started watching. Some wrote kind comments. Others said they missed someone too. His story became theirs. And in this way, Ravi found new hope. He realized he was not alone. One morning, he woke up to a surprise. A message had arrived. But it wasn't just from Lena. It was from the whole Mars crew. A short video played. Lena stood in the middle, holding something in her hand, a tiny Earth flag with Ravi's name written on it. She spoke with joy in her voice. We lost signal for a long time. But today, it came back. I saw all your videos. I watched your candlelight. I cried. You didn't give up. And that gave me strength. She smiled and whispered, your heart did reach me. Ravi sat quietly, eyes full of tears. Hope had not left him. It had grown, because even in silence, even across planets, the human spirit finds its way. It reaches out. It holds on. And sometimes, it shines back. Ravi stood outside his house looking at the night sky again. It was clear and full of stars. The moon looked bright, almost like a smile from the sky. But even with all this beauty above him, his heart still felt heavy. He had received Lena's message last week. It brought him peace. She had seen his videos. She hadn't forgotten. She still cared. That moment had been full of joy. But now, the silence had returned. No new message, no update. Just the same quiet waiting. Ravi told himself it was okay. Mars was far. Communication wasn't easy. But even knowing that didn't stop the sadness from creeping back into his chest. He missed her more than ever. Everywhere he went reminded him of her. The bus stop where they used to wait together. The tree where she once carved their names. The old library where they read poetry in the corner. He walked through the city with slow steps. The world around him kept moving. People laughed, talked, and lived their lives. But Ravi felt like he was just watching it all from behind glass. At the grocery store, he picked up a box of her favorite cookies. He placed them in the cart, then stopped and stared at them. She wouldn't be back for many months, maybe more. He slowly put the box back on the shelf. Later that evening, Ravi sat in his room, holding a notebook. It was one she gave him long ago. The pages were still mostly empty. She had told him to write dreams in it, but Ravi had never known what to write now. He opened the first page and started writing. He didn't plan what to say. He just let his hand move. I miss you. Every day. I know you're doing something great. I'm proud of you. But it's hard. It's hard to live without you near. I talked to the sky, hoping you might hear. I don't know how to stay strong, but I try, because that's what we do. We keep going. We hold on. He filled 3 pages that night. The next day, he wrote more and then more. Every day became a habit. He wrote letters he couldn't send. He poured his heart into pages. Slowly, he felt a little better. The words helped. The paper listened when no one else could. Then one afternoon, something happened. He got a message from a stranger. It was from a young man on Earth who had watched Ravis's videos online. The message was short but full of feeling. Your videos helped me. My brother is also far away on a space mission. I thought I was alone. Your story gave me hope. Ravi stared at the message for a long time. He hadn't expected that. More messages followed, from people in different places. People who missed someone, people who waited, people who understood the silence. Ravi felt something shift inside him. He wasn't just waiting for Lena anymore. He was helping others wait too. His love, his sadness, his hope. It wasn't just his anymore. It belonged to everyone who cared deeply and refused to give up. That night, he made a new video. But this one wasn't just for Lena. It was for all of them. He sat by the window with the candle lit beside him. His voice was calm and steady. To those who are far from someone they love, I see you. I know it hurts. I know it feels like the world has moved on without you. But don't give up. Your heart is stronger than you think. And even if your message takes time, it will reach them. Because human love is louder than silence. He smiled gently at the camera. We are not made to forget. We are made to remember, to care, to wait, and to believe. He sent the video and closed his eyes. The next morning, he woke up to a surprise. A short message from Lena had arrived. Still here. Still thinking of you? I showed your video to the whole crew. You all cried. You remind us why we left to help Earth, to build something better. You give us strength. Ravi held the screen close to his chest. Hope returned like the sunrise, soft, slow, steady. He knew there would still be quiet days, still be lonely nights. But he also knew this. Even when words stopped, even when time passed, even when stars stood between them, the human heart would never stop reaching, and that made all the difference. When someone we love leaves, the world feels colder. But even across stars, the human heart shines with a light no distance can fade. This is a story of longing, hope, and the strength that makes us human, a strength that says, we will find each other again. Ravi sat on the roof every night, even when the sky was cloudy. He didn't care about the cold wind. He just looked up, hoping to see one small blinking light. That was where she had gone. Somewhere up there, somewhere. Far, Lena had left Earth 3 months ago. She was chosen for the Mars mission. It was a great honor, something only a few people ever got to do. Ravi was proud of her. She worked hard. She always wanted to touch the stars, and she did. But now he felt like she had taken a part of him with her. They had grown up together. From childhood, Lena was always laughing, running, dreaming of space. Ravi was more quiet. He liked Earth. He liked walking under trees, smelling rain, watching old movies. But he liked her more than all of that. She made everything brighter. When she smiled, even boring things became fun. Now Earth felt empty. He missed her messages at night. They had talked for a while after she left. Her voice came through slow and soft, like a ghost traveling across time. But even those messages had stopped. He understood. Space was busy. She had work. She had a new life. But still, it hurt. He kept checking the screen, waiting for her name to appear. It never did. He walked past the small cafe where they used to sit. The chairs were still there, the waiter asked. She's not back yet? Ravi just shook his head and gave a tired smile. He tried writing her a message, then deleted it. He tried recording a voice note, but stopped halfway. He sat in his room and held the small paper rocket she made for him when they were kids. On it, she had written in blue pen, "Wherever I go, don't forget me." But he felt like she had forgotten. One evening, as the sun was setting, Ravi walked to the riverbank. He sat by the water and watched the ripples. A child nearby threw a stone, and the circle spread wide. That's how he felt when goodbye and everything changed. But deep inside, something told him not to give up. He walked home and turned on his old computer. It was slow, but it still worked. He opened a blank page and began to type. Not a message, not a report, just a letter. A letter to Lena. He told her how the sky looked that night. Told her how he missed the sound of her footsteps. He wrote about their favorite cafe, the smell of baked bread, and how the flowers had bloomed late this year. He wrote how empty Earth felt without her. But then he wrote something more. He wrote about how humans always longed for the stars, never stopped looking back at what they loved. He wrote that no matter how far she went, she would always be part of his world, because that's what humans do. They care, even when it hurts, even when they feel forgotten. He ended the letter with one simple line. I'm still here. He saved the letter, didn't send it. He just let it sit. A week passed. Then one night, screen blinked. A message. Short, faint but real. Ravi, I saw the moon today from the Mars window. It looked small, but it made me think of you. I miss home. I miss you. He read it again. And again, his heart beat faster. The stars outside didn't look so far now. He opened the old letter, added one line at the end, and sent it. You're still here too? And for the first time in many weeks, he smiled, because even across space, even with silence and sadness, the human heart never gives up. It waits. It hopes. It reaches out, and sometimes the stars answer back. Asterisk Ravi sat on the bus looking out. The window, the world moved by slowly. Cars passed, people walked, and everything looked normal. But inside, nothing felt normal. His heart still ached with quiet sadness. The message from Lena had come days ago, just one short message. It had meant everything to him. He kept thinking about it. I miss home. I miss you. Those words repeated in his mind like music stuck on one soft note. But after that, she didn't send anything else. No voice, no reply, no picture. Only silence again. He didn't blame her. Space was not easy. Living on Mars was. Hard work. She had to wear suits, grow food, and work with machines all day. It was not Earth. There were no rivers, no birds, no laughter from children playing outside. Maybe she was tired. Maybe she was lonely too. But Ravi wanted more. He wanted to talk to her again. He wanted to feel close. But he didn't know how. One night, he walked through the park where they once flew kites. He still remembered her voice yelling, "Higher! Make it fly higher!" He could still see her running with the string, her hair dancing in the wind. He sat on a bench and stared at the empty sky. Stars blinked far away, cold and quiet. He whispered to them, "She's up there. Can you hear me?" No answer came, but a small idea started growing inside him. He went home and opened a new folder on his computer. He named it for Lena. Every day, he wrote something in it. Sometimes a letter, sometimes a picture, sometimes just a short thought. Today it rained. I wore your favorite blue jacket. I passed the bookstore. They still have your favorite novel. I made tea. Wasn't as good as yours. At first it felt strange. She wouldn't read it. But slowly, it helped him feel closer. Felt like speaking to her, even if she couldn't answer yet. He started recording short videos, just simple ones. Him sitting in the garden, him walking past their old school, him laughing at something silly on TV. He said, "This is Earth. Still. Waiting for you." Days turned into weeks. He didn't stop. His friends noticed. They asked, "Why do you keep doing this? She's on Mars. You can't even send messages every day." Ravi smiled gently. "'Cause I care. Because that's what we do. We don't forget. We hold on." And that was true. Humans were like that. They didn't let go, even when it hurt, even when hope was small. One morning, Ravi woke up to a sound. His screen blinked again. He jumped out of bed and ran to it. Another message. This one had a short video from Lena. Her face looked tired, but warm. Behind her, the red dust of Mars blew slowly. She smiled and said, "I saw your video. The one with the tea." I cried a little. I remembered everything. "You always made Earth feel like home." She paused and added, "Keep sending them. It helps." Me. It reminds me why I came here. Not just for science, but for the people I love. For you. Ravi held the screen close, his eyes filled with tears, not of sadness, but of joy. He sent back a video of him planting a small tree. He said, "When you come back, this tree will be tall, just like our story." The wind moved the leaves. The sun shined on his face, and far away, on a red and silent planet. A girl watched that video and smiled, because even with galaxies between them, something still connected their hearts. Not wires, not screens, but something more: hope, faith, human love, and that no matter the distance, would always find its way.